Howdy, 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 my name's Anachi Sasuke, and welcome back to Let's Play Hiveswap FriendSim. I did an update video yesterday that explained this, but I'm going to explain in the video itself. I realized that if I'm going to continue being right about the fact that each new volume comes out every other Friday, that gives me exactly enough FriendSim to post one every Monday without having to stop. And the reason I decided I'm going to do that is because I was starting to get bored with the extended Zodiac reading thing, because it was going to be like 12 episodes of basically the same thing, and I wasn't really down for that. But I wanted to give it a shot since somebody had asked me to do it. In any case, let's get on in here. In the last episode, we did Skyla, and this we're going to be doing the other one. Putting one foot in front of the other, you continue on through this strange alien world. Just when you think stuff is beginning to make sense, it all slips through your fingers and becomes even stranger and more alien. There does, however, seem to be one thing that remains constant through all planets and walks of life. That thing is friendship. You are on the prowl for more. It would have been perhaps wise to stay with one of your wonderful new friends until you're fully healed. But as Martha Stewart said, visitors like fish begin to smell after 3 days. You're almost positive Martha Stewart said that. Nevertheless, you soldier on in your endless quest for companionship. Where will your travels take you next? Skyla was great. I feel really bad about what her bad ending was. Like, her bad ending almost made me cry, because she's just fantastic. But now it's time for Bronya's, or it might be Bronya. I will never know the pronunciation, because nothing's telling me. Let's go with Bronya. Bronya, or Sama. And she's a Jade Blood, and we haven't seen one of those yet, and she looks pleasant enough. Let's hope that she actually is. You've been traveling through a cave network for a while now. The rigid stone is a welcome respite from the eerily organic infrastructure you've been encountering, but it's also proving an unwelcome respite from friend-making. There's not music playing. Maybe it was too much to hope for, that this cavern would be home to another potential new buddy. Maybe leaving the big city behind was a horrible mistake. Just maybe, these dark, cold tunnels are completely devoid of— oh, hang on, there's a bunch of buildings in the distance. Oh, hello! I thought you were just one of my girls, but you don't look like a Jade Blood, or anything else actually. How strange. You convey your usual spiel regarding your circumstances. You're lost and lonely, and your ribs are still broken, you think? Honestly, the ribs are fine. You could just use another friend or two. I see. My first responsibility is to my Jades and the Mother Grub, so I can't make any promises of friendship just yet. But you do look like you need someone to take care of you. VV. Here in the Brooding Caverns, we follow a few simple rules. 1. Don't invite drama from up top down below. 2. Protect the Mother Grub. 3. We have no hierarchy, but do what I say. Let's do everything we can to keep up our current record of dozens of sweeps without any Jades being called. Well, that's a pretty good record to have. You're not sure what half of those words mean, but you nod your head. Good! I'll take you to our hive. Follow me! You follow her into her hive, which looks like a school or some kind of dormitory, with multiple rooms and multiple floors. Are we going to high school now? Usually more of my Jades are around. I suppose that everyone is out watching the Imperial drones arrive with the filial pails. Girls, we have a visitor to our caverns. 1. Do not be alarmed by their bizarre appearance. They seem to be harmless and quite weak. 2. Do not give them more injuries than they already have. Our visitor deserves a warm Jade Blood welcome. Is that even a thing Jade Bloods do? I mean, the only Jade Blood I've seen so far is Kanaya and Alternate Universe Kanaya, so my point of reference is terrible. She claps her hands. No one else is around, but you stand to attention to give her the thumbs up to show you read her loud and clear. You notice that she called you visitor and not friend, but that's okay. You can do whatever it takes until you're upgraded from visitor to friend, or at least charity case. Yeah, we're going to school. You follow her up the stairs. There are tiny trolls in that tub back there. You follow her upstairs and she stops at a big room on the second floor. When you step into it, you have to clap your hand over your mouth to keep from gagging at the revolting sight. There are big, baby-sized larva-looking things all over the floor, squirming around and crying and inchworming out of kiddie pools of green slime. What the hell? This is our nursery. Most of these wigglers are sick or injured, so we look after them in here until they're well enough to go back out to the caverns and spin their cocoons. She looks shifty all of a sudden, giving you some side-eye like she's sizing you up. You try to look very non-threatening and also 100% trustworthy. We keep this nursery on the down low. It's not against any laws, but it's something of a break with tradition to save any of the grubs instead of just letting them die. To tell you the truth, I'm not sure why we do it. I guess it just feels right to me to take care of them. That somebody take care of my jades. A nursery, huh? You look around again with this new information. You guess you can sort of see how the wigglers look like babies. You can't believe that one of these things could grow up into anything that looks like Bronya, but this is an alien planet, so who knows? She takes you over to a shelf that seems to hold medical supplies. You're not sure what can be done for your broken ribs, but maybe she has some kind of alien technology that can help. But when she starts going through the cabinet, you don't see anything that looks high-tech like the thing that fixed your arm. I guess that most of what we have is stuff for wigglers, and I'm not familiar enough with your bizarre anatomy to know if it will help. But if you're not completely trying to do something, it's best to try anyway. 1, even if you fail, everyone else can still learn from your mistake. 2, maybe you won't fail. You never know. You're not so sure about applying this ethos to your broken ribs, but she looks so determined. She has the medical know-how. This fills her with determination. It might be rude to say no. Go for it! My ribs are already broken, so where's the harm? Okay, come here. Lift up your shirt so I can get to your injured bellow sack enclosures. It's like that. Turn the part that's all bloody and horrifying towards me. She has something that looks kind of like some kind of ointment. It's a shade of bright green, similar to the slime beds you see around the nursery, and it also seems to be glowing. Seems like there's nothing wrong about applying it to your skin. But despite your optimism, the second Bronya rubs some of it on your broken skin, you feel a searing hot pain like you just got doused with poison. You flinch back instinctively, your momentum carries you too far, and as you step back, you trip on something behind your feet. You cartwheel your arms, but it's no use, you're going down, you're yelling timber. You feel something soft and squishy break your fall, and you hear a terrible squelching noise and some kind of animal squeal. Oh god. You've fallen right onto one of the wigglers. You roll off of it, but there's no use, it's squashed flat, and you're covered in olive fluid that you think might be its blood. You look up to see Bronya's horrified face, and know that there is no hope for friendship in those vengeful eyes. You might want to run, before I throw you out of this window and break the rest of your bones. Alternia's deadliest ass. Yeah, I guess this isn't the first time that that's killed something, is it? But I gotta say, that is not the choice I thought was going to end up in a bad ending. So let's get back on in there. I really would have thought the offering to heal my dang self would have been the bad one, but fuck me, am I right? Bronya. Fast forward. Okay, thanks, but no thanks. I'll heal on my own just fine. Oh, well, if you're sure. I'm worried about you, though. You seem like you need help, and I wish I could help you more. Well, you see, you tried, and then I smushed someone's child. Also, I just realized she has suspenders, and that's adorable. If I can't take care of someone, I'm not sure how we can ever truly be friends. You try to cheer her up, pointing out that friendship is a two-way street after all. She doesn't have to concern herself with your mutilated frame. How can you help her instead? Well, sure, there's some things around here that could use some I could use some assistance with. However, don't take this the wrong way, but we've only just met. I don't know that I can trust you to be as responsible as I am. Yeah, no, you can't. Also, I realize her nails are also green, and that's cool. Honestly, she reminds me more of Vriska than Kanaya, and I don't know how I feel about that. It's not easy to be the one in charge. You have to be 1, conscientious, 2, considerate, and 3, competent. At all times. And she has dimples, oh my god. You try to think of times in your life when you've been conscientious, considerate, or competent. You're drawing a bit of a blank, but hey! New planet, new you. You sure you have what it takes. I guess if you want to prove that you can be responsible, I can let you help me out today. It's a good time for a visit to the mother grub, oh geez. You're careful to step around all the little guys on the floor as you head out the nursery so that you don't crush one with your ass again. She takes you back outside, and these caverns are even bigger than you first realized. They're also dark, and cold, and gloomy, and you can't see anywhere that might lead up to the planet's surface. How did you even get down here, dude? Does she really just live down here all the time? To make some conversation during this cold hike in a damp cave, you mentioned that living underground like this seems kind of depressing. You realize too late that this wasn't very tactful, but she doesn't get angry at your conversational gambit of insulting her home. Oh no, it's very peaceful down here. Well, in comparison to anywhere else, I quite enjoy it. The brooding caverns are a place for life and birth, not death. That's pretty uncommon on Alternia. I feel like she's not nearly as cheerful as the voice I've given her. She seems like it's like... she's probably saying cheerful things in a really deadpan voice. But she looks happy, so I'm just gonna roll with it. You're still not sure what she means by brooding caverns, but you guess it has something to do with the wigglers in her nursery. Before you can ask, you reach the top of a ridge and get a new, wider view of the rest of this cavern. It's enormous, probably the size of a small city. All over the cave floor, you see more wigglers crawling everywhere. Cocoons line the cave walls and the larger stalagmites, with some young trolls crawling out of them. Walking, flying, and crawling along among the wigglers and young trolls are a variety of white monsters of all kinds and shapes and sizes. And in the center of the cavern, there's... you don't even know how to describe it. It looks like a huge many-legged queen bug of some kind, with a goat-shaped skull and horns coming out of her head. Her bulbous sphincter ripples as she lays a continuous stream of hundreds of eggs, from which you assume the gray wigglers will hatch. And marching through all this, you see several hulking bipedal creatures, each carrying 2 buckets, either to or away from the mother grub. They look armed, and they move like regimented troops, soldiers of some kind. You are instinctively terrified of them. This is where the magic happens, and by that I mean the continuation of our species. Jadebloods like myself are entrusted with looking after this process, which is of course a very special job. 1. The Imperial drones carry filial pails of genetic material to the mother grub for her slurry. 2. She lays eggs that hatch new grub broods. 3. After the wigglers emerge from the cocoons, the new trolls will go through the trials, and the ones that make it will be selected by Alessis to help care for them. 4. Together the young trolls and their Lessi go up to the surface together, where the trolls will grow up, or get cold, or whatever. As Bronya explains troll reproduction to you, one of the Imperial drones veers sharply to the left and in the process, tramples over a few wigglers and young trolls. The drone continues on, but several of the Lessi cry out, crowding around their dead or injured charges. That is a bison. One of them, a gigantic beast that resembles a bison, bellows and rears up on its hind legs, hitting one of the other Lessi with its front hoof. Oh jeez, not again. This kind of damage control is a lot of what we have to deal with. Whenever Alessis goes rogue out of grief or confusion, there's a potential for it to lash out at other Lessi, the wigglers, or the mother grub herself. We Jadebloods cannot let that happen! She looks so concerned, a marked contrast to how confident she seemed before now. You offered to help her out earlier, and it seems like now's your chance. Someone has to stop that rogue Alessis, and that someone could be you? Fight the monster! Save the day! The bison lesson seems to be causing quite a ruckus. Other Lessi have now gotten riled up too, with some of them trying to gather wigglers to keep them out of harm's way, and others just getting hyped to thrash. It seems like they could turn into a monster stampede, and they're too close to the mother grub's big, soft, vulnerable abdomen. Not great! Fighting a monster single-handed seems like a daunting first step in friendship, but you did tell her you could be responsible. You square your shoulders and tell Bronya that she has nothing to worry about. You're going to stop that, Alessis, calm down all the other Lessi, and protect the mother grub, all without breaking a sweat, and hopefully without breaking any more bones either. Whoa there! I was going to suggest that I go after it while you stay here. You seem kind of weak and fragile, even apart from your injuries, I mean. I don't want you to get hurt worse, and I'm not sure I trust anyone other than myself to take the lead on this. That wasn't quite the reaction you were hoping for. Normally you would all be all about sitting back and letting her protect you, because, well, protective and responsible is a good look on her. But desperate times call for desperate measures, and you don't know how else you're going to prove yourself worthy to be her friend. Or you do your best to project an air of confidence, or at least competence. You assure her that this is no sweat for you. You take down Raging Bison back on your home planet all the time. You're known for it, actually. Well, if you say that this isn't your first ungulate rope and gallop exhibition, I'll believe you. Rodeo. I'll hang back to let you give it a shot. But if something gets too overwhelming in there, I'm right here. 1. Caring for the mother grub is my responsibility as a Jadeblood. 2. I'd never abandon a friend to deal with a mess on their own, if we end up being friends, that is. Oh, hell yes. Now you have a reason to hope. Hello. You approach the rampaging bison with caution. Do all bison have horns like that? Maybe they do. You're no bison expert, but you're pretty sure they don't all have teeth that nasty. Yeah, those are some bison fangs. Bison on Earth mostly eat grass, don't they? This guy doesn't look like a herbivore. At first you try to calm the Lessi down by talking to it, but your soothing words have no effect. In fact, you might have just made it even angrier by suggesting that it pause and take some deep breaths in reaction to its trample charge. You're not even sure it can understand human speech, come to think of it. You You circle around it, wishing that you had some kind of lasso or something. Maybe you can herd it away from the mother grub. You look around to see if there's any other Lessi that look vaguely like Earth's shepherd dogs, but no dice. You hesitate too long, and the Lessi turns away, its furious eyes falling on the mother grub. It stamps its hooves, snorts air out of its nostrils, and screams in a way that sounds a lot more hellish than you imagine normal bison are capable of. It's obviously about to charge, and you can only think of one thing to do. In desperation, you leap forward and tackle it football style, doing everything you can with your flimsy human body to drag it onto its side. It half works. You plow into the Lessis and stop it in its tracks, but it topples over onto a nest of wigglers, taking you down with it. Wigglers and young trolls go bouncing everywhere, squealing in distress, and their Lessi descend upon you in a rage. Everything is chaos for a while. You're trapped beneath the bison Lessis, which is very worrying for all your body parts, and you think you might feel something important rupturing inside of you. But hey, on the bright side, this crushing mass is protecting you from all the other pissed off Lessi trying to attack you. Just as your whole breathing situation is starting to get dicey, you hear a commotion in what sounds possibly the trouncing of some of the smaller Lessi that were trying to get to you. The crowd of beasts around you scatters, and then you hear her. Ugh, I'm having a hard time getting this thing off you, and he's still very angry. He keeps trying to kick me. What's a bronze blood when you need one? You don't know what that means, but you're very grateful that she's here to help you. You try to communicate all this, but it comes out garbled from all the blood in your mouth. Maybe don't try to speak, or move, or help. You experience a sinking feeling that could be related to your diminishing odds of impressing Bronya and becoming her friend, or it could be the compression of all your internal organs. Either way, it's tough to feel optimistic right now. But before you could give in to complete despair, you hear other voices. Your view is blocked by the mass of bison flesh on top of you, but could it be? Are these other people here to save you? Finally, I was wondering where you had all gotten off to. Let's all work together, girls. 1, you two grab his horns to keep his head still and keep it from biting anyone. 2, the rest of you, come around with me to its backside so we can push it without getting kicked. You hear some grunting and muttering, and the bison starts making noises that sound more confused and less furious. The pressure and pain on your chest briefly spike in intensity as the thing's weight shifts, and then they must succeed in dragging it off you because suddenly you can breathe again. But the crisis is not over yet! While you're still testing the use of your lungs and blinking up at the cavern ceiling, you hear a new cacophony of enraged monster noises. Uh-oh! The other Lessi are still agitated. Get down there and try to calm them down! Protect the mother grub! You try to lift yourself to see what's going on, but putting any weight on your arms makes you feel like maybe all your bones got turned to confetti. Painful, painful confetti. You feel strong hands propping you up gently, and now your head is in Bronya's lap. You try to focus more on how this is a nice place for your head to be and less on the pain. This is not good. I don't know if my jades can reach the stampede in time, and Mother Grub could get injured. Not to mention all these wigglers in danger. Oh no! You didn't think this situation could get any worse, but now you see that several of the Imperial drones that had been about to leave the cavern are turning back, drawn by all the noise and chaos. But maybe this could be a good thing. Maybe they can instill some order. Fuck! They're gonna kill everyone! She scrambles to her feet, in the process letting your head whack down on the cave floor. Your vision swims, but you can still make out the drones firing indiscriminately at the Lessi, at the grubs of wigglers, and at the jade bloods. One laser beam skims the side of the mother grub's massive midsection, and her scream is so loud that the ceiling shakes and a few stalactites shake loose, falling on drones and Lessi and wigglers alike. It's a total catastrophe! A whole rainbow's worth of troll, wiggler, and Lessi's blood splattering the cavern walls. Bronya seems paralyzed by the chaos, looking from her jades to the mother grub to the imperiled wigglers like she's not sure who to help first. I can't believe it! This is the worst disaster we've ever had down here. Why does helping make shit go so wrong? And it's all because I thought I could sit back and let someone else be responsible for once. If I were a less secure person, I could let this moment plant a seed of self-doubt in my mind about my ability to take care of others and do my job well. Or I could chalk it up to you being really fucking stupid. You shrink under the weight of her glare. She's green in the face from how angry she is. You swallow and manage to spit out enough blood to ask a question that you already know is hopeless. Does this mean you can't be friends? Are you serious right now? I do not make friends with anyone who recklessly endangers the trolls and wigglers under my care. You killed them all. Wow. Okay. Wow. Plot 3. I wish I could skip through the beginning words instead of just click, 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 click. Bronya. Skip. Don't help me. Skip. I'll heal on my own. Be a weenie! You definitely do not like the idea of wading into a monster fight, not even to save the progenitor of your new friend's species. In fact, you don't like that Bronya is so focused on protecting all these helpless toddlers and distressed animals instead of taking care of you. You stammer out that you don't think you can take on any kind of monster right now. In fact, you just felt another stab of pain in your ribs. You might be blacking out. Bronya's concerned face turns in your direction as you start to swoon. She catches you before you hit the ground and your heart flutters. You look up at her serious face and she looks like such a mom, but also such a friend. Like some sort of combination of those two concepts. Yikes, you don't look so good. I can't leave you alone, not when you're in such bad shape. Maybe I could carry you on my back while I try to stop the rampaging lusses. Your heart flutters turn to pinpricks of alarm. That sounds dangerous, mainly for you. You try to think of what you can say to dissuade her, something other than, I think you should ignore the helpless babies and mother in danger behind you in favor of continuing to hold me in your strong arms. But before you can speak, you hear a commotion behind her. She turns to look over her shoulder and her face sags with relief. Yes, the other Jades are here! They should know what to do. We've taken care of crises like this before. Of course, usually I'm there to help. If you crane your neck, you can just glimpse a crowd of trolls corralling the rogue lusses away from the mother grub, while other trolls calm the remaining lussi swoop up any wigglers in harm's way. It looks like I needn't have worried. They're more than capable of stepping in while I'm otherwise occupied. I'm so proud. You take this opportunity to compliment her on what a good leader she must be to have trained the others so well. Super smooth. She beams at you and sets you down carefully on the cavern floor, kneeling at your side. This could have gone quite badly. Oh, I'm sure it definitely could have. I'm glad I didn't make the wrong choice when I stayed to help you instead of rushing off. It just goes to show sometimes the best thing you can do for the group is to take care of the weakest person in it. You kinda want to object to being called the weakest person, but you did just fake a feigning spell for attention, so maybe now isn't the best time. Instead, you thank her sincerely for sticking by your side. The two of you watch together as order is gradually restored to the chaos below, and even with your injuries, you feel close to content and quite hopeful about how this relationship is progressing. You notice that at your side, several wigglers are blindly squirming around, confused and crying. There are some young trolls here too, looking all around all lost and bereft. You're not sure if their lussi ran off with the others that got involved in the fracas, or if these little guys are orphans now. Now that you're seeing them out in natural cavern light, the wigglers look less like maggots to you. In fact, they're even kinda cute. You can see why Bronya will want to take care of them. One of the smallest wigglers closest to you has somehow flipped himself onto his back and seems unable to right himself, his little legs waving in the air while he cries. Trying to be careful with your ribs, you reach out to scoop him up and cradle him to your chest, rocking him back and forth until his cries quiet down. Wow, you have a very strong nurturing instinct. I think he likes you. You almost look like you could be his lussus, or a jade blood. You are pleased that she approves of your caretaking display. The wiggler's cough breaks through your haze of smug satisfaction, and when you look down, you realize he seems to be having some trouble breathing. You point this out to Bronya. Good observation! You really are natural at taking care of other creatures, aren't you? Some people find that nurturing ability to be very attractive in a potential friend. But as for the wiggler, this is definitely not a good sign. I'm surprised none of these drones have noticed that he's sick. If we leave him here, he'll be cold for sure. Bronya takes the wiggler from you, and you're more than happy to hand him over, considering that you have no idea what to do with a sick baby that's not your species. Also, your broken ribs make holding a baby kind of painful, and Bronya holds the wiggler carefully with perfect ease. Just like you hope she'll cradle your new friendship in its infancy. Once Bronya feels assured that her jades have the situation at the brooding caverns under control, you both take the wiggler back to the jade blood nursery. You hover around uselessly while Bronya sets up some kind of crib filled with green slime. You're a little concerned when she takes the wiggler and submerges him under the slime because, like, he was already having trouble breathing, surely drowning in slime won't help. The soaper should help strengthen his bellow sacs and soothe his sorrow shoot. When he gets healthy again, I'll take him back to the cavern and set him free to make his cocoon and pupate. But he's so small. It's unlikely that he's so small. Unlikely that she'll survive. Hussy, what you doing? Survive the trials or be selected by a lussus. You hate to see Bronya looking sad. You try to be sympathetic, mentioning your astute observation that this whole system set up with the wigglers and the trials and the collings is pretty brutal. What? Oh no, I would never suggest. This is just the way the world works, and it's fine. It's fine. The trials are how young trolls prove they're strong enough to survive. It's only right for the weak to be culled. It's the purpose of J-Plus to ensure the continuation of our species, and consequently the hemospectrum. 1, we are not revolutionaries. 2, we are meant to do our jobs and keep our heads down. and keep things running smoothly. 3. I would never presume to question the basic tenets of alternating society. That would bring negative attention from the High Bloods, and I just want to keep my Jade safe. You look around at the nursery and all these injured or undeveloped wigglers that Bronya was apparently supposed to let die. You think it might not be true that she doesn't question the way her world works? She's looking at you like she's scared you'll call her on it and expose her altruistic tendencies. You try to salvage the conversation thread. Did you say that calling wigglers sounded brutal? You meant neutral. Yes, you feel 100% neutral on this topic, neither committed to the calling side of things nor eager to take up arms in revolution. Ah yes, neutral is how I feel about it as well. What a good word to describe exactly how I feel about all these controversial political subjects. Did I mention that keeping this nursery isn't technically illegal? Because it isn't, technically. There's no reason for any of Triz's drones to come investigating our hive, and if any drones do come knocking, we have nothing to hide. No borderline revolutionary ideas will be tolerated within these walls. Bronya laughs nervously and looks around the room like she's making sure that any Imperial drones hiding in here heard her announcement. You feel bad for how nervous she is. You didn't mean to freak her out. You tell her that she sounds super convincing, and why shouldn't she? Because she's clearly telling the truth. If you were an Imperial drone, you would definitely be satisfied right now with her clearly law-abiding and neutral ways. Thank you, that means a lot. You cast about for something to change the subject and mention that your ribs are feeling a bit better. Bronya's face brightens as she lifts up your arm gently so she can touch the injured part of your torso, examining it in her typically responsible and authoritative way. You shiver and wonder if her touch has healing properties. I'm glad to hear that. After all, I don't like it when my friends suffer. Your heart leaps. You look up, scarcely allowing yourself to hope. Could it be? Or was she just making a general statement? If you're not in any more pain, hopefully that means your injuries will heal soon. I'll take care of you until then, my friend. You are overcome. Your eyes fill with tears. Bronya smiles at you and squeezes your hand. Victory! Self-care comes first. Maybe in the next volume he'll actually get something done about his ribs, though. Because he got his arms healed after getting a lot of his blood taken for painting. And a lot of bad things have happened to this man. But boy, wasn't it an adventure getting to the good ending. I think that's the first time that I got all of the bad things before I found the good one. Especially since the good ending was, don't do shit, just sit down and let things happen and everything will be Gucci. Every time I tried to help, it just got worse. Thanks for trying to heal me, I squished the dude with my butt. I'll stop the bison, I crushed a bunch of other things and everyone wants to kill me. I'm gonna sit here and cry about my ribs hurting. Everything's okay. So, that being said, that about does it for this episode of Let's Play the Hiveswap FriendSim. In the next episode, it'll probably be Volume 4, which might come out on Friday from now. As of right now, it's Monday now. It might come out this Friday, and then I won't be able to buy it until Saturday for some reason, and then I'll do the next episode on Monday if I'm right about these things. If everything goes according to Keikaku, it'll be fine. So, this has been Anachi Sasuke, thanks for watching. If you liked it, a like and a subscribe will be groovy. If you didn't, you don't need to do either one of those things, and I will see y'all in the next one. Later.